welcome to another episode of Questlog, the weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett. This is round 2 of episode 23 that we started 22 minutes ago, but we had some audio diffuelties, so big shout out.
This is 24, right?
Technically, yeah. So big shout out to Rob. Thanks for letting us know it was
Thanks
up
for
on the
ruining
Twitch.
everything.
Yeah, go ahead and let us know if it still isn't right, but I think we got it this time.
Yeah, this is fine.
It's
23A.
fine. Yeah, there we go. Aaron Crane, you're back with us. You're still here. You didn't go anywhere.
I didn't, and guess what? It's still here.
Your Switch, I bet you're going to show your Switch again. There it is. There it is. He's still got it. The one, the only Luke Phillips, you're back again as well?
Yeah, I took a quick break to Hyrule, but now I'm back. So
Well,
here we are.
Let's
There was a divine beast that needed to be killed.
Which, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, was it in a watery place?
It was in the water.
That's the first one I did too. Was that the first one you did, Craig?
Was it what?
You know what? We shouldn't talk about Zelda yet. We'll save that for later. But we all played Zelda a lot. Spoiler alert.
Not all.
But, well, sorry, Brian. I know, it's still sore. You know what? To make up for it, I say we talk about what Brian played first. Do you think we should?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm going to
Yeah, we should be really good at it.
Right now.
All right. I played Night in the Woods.
What?
Quite a lot. Yeah, I know. No one expected this, but here we are.
Brian,
played Night
I've
in the
literally
Woods.
never heard of this game. What is
I know. It's a shock to everyone. And I finished it.
You did?
Huh? I did.
Twice? Did you do it twice?
Yeah.
If
Feels like it.
If it sounds like we're psychic, it might be because we've already had this discussion.
All this has happened before and will happen again.
Yeah.
No, I finished Night in the Woods this week. The ending didn't quite live up to the rest of the game because the ending gets a little sci-fi and a little out there, while the rest of the story was good because it was so grounded and real, but I was impressed enough to play through it. I'm playing through it a second time to get the story of one of the other main characters. You've kind of got two friends to choose from for how you spend your time in the game, and I spent all my time with Bee, who's a crocodile.
She's a crocodile, if you know what I mean.
Crocodile.
Is that an innuendo?
He said it like it was, but
We'll
I
never
don't think
know.
it is. Play
Turns
Night in
out
the Woods
he's
to find out.
So this
Turns
time
out
One of them
He's an
crocodiles.
I'm going to hang out with Greg, who is a wolf-fox thing.
What?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Do-
So,
does
May's
the
kind of a dick. She's kind of an immature little dick, but she's got reasons, Girls got problems.
She's got a cool shirt.
Yeah.
She seems down.
She's got nightmare eyes, she says.
So, I have a question.
Yeah.
I know that the animals are stylistically designed to be that way, but they're actually people.
It's so dense. Yeah.
But does the type of animal that they are depicted as ever matter? Like, is it ever like Bee's a crocodile and she's like a crocodile?
No.
No?
Bee's kind of harsh to begin with, but she's got good reasons to be kind of harsh.
Gotcha.
Bee's probably my favorite character in the game.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think there's a correlation where you're like, here comes a crocodile, this person's a piece of shit. Doesn't seem to be that.
I don't know what's up with
Nothing
this
against
walrus,
crocodiles.
but
That sounds racist.
it's speciesist, if anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm super impressed with the game. The writing's great. Dialogue's really good.
It's purdy too. Don't
It
forget
is
that.
pretty.
It's a real nice game to look at. Is there platformy bits? Is that what this is right now, or is this just kind of like getting A to B?
A little bit. It's not the kind of platformy bits where it's going to be challenging and you're going to be cursing because you Can't make the jumps though. It's all the video gamey stuff is pretty low key, and you got some mini games in there that aren't always great.
I know Cat
But
was not a big
thankfully,
fan
I
of
found
those.
they'll just dump you if you fail them too many times.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think Life
I
is
was
Strange
helping
had
Greg
something
move
like
a
that
fucking
too.
box up the stairs, and he's got a little thought bubble that tells you what buttons to push, and every time I had to push right on the controller, he would just fucking tumble down the stairs, and the box would come crashing down on top of him. And he's like,
Greg.
May, you're going to kill me. I'm just like, I know, God damn it, let's do this. Finally, he's just like, let's just take the elevator.
That's an option?
Yes, let's.
That's cool. I like that. I like when a game does that. It's like clearly you're not gonna get this, and it's not fun for you right now. So let's just move you along.
Mercy,
Well,
yes, the mercy
why
rule.
Why didn't they just let you take the elevator to begin with, which is, what a human would do?
He said it was a much further walk, but apparently getting the box dropped down the stairs on him 10 times changed his mind.
They're also not humans.
Literally and figuratively. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you liked your romp through A Night in the Woods, and I would like to join you there someday. So if you see it on a Steam sale, or you see it real cheap somewhere, It falls off the back of a truck, let me know, because I'll pick that up, and we'll do a big old spoiler episode if that's something that people would like.
Yeah,
I'd
but
love to be able
Tyler,
to talk about it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, have you checked your internet drawer?
Oh, shoot. I didn't.
I want to check it.
No Night in the Woods there yet, but you never know. Keep checking it. Someday it might pop up in there. Sweet. So, Thumper is a game that exists, and if I squint, it looks like the Windows Media Player from when I was a kid, and I would listen to shitty emo bands in my parents' basement and watch the visualizations for hours.
Don't you?
Is it
still
like
listen
that?
to
Do you
shitty
do?
emo bands?
Is that what this game is?
Oh, God.
Not really.
It's it's sort of a rhythm game. Like, you've got notes coming down the screen at you. I say notes, but you've got cues coming down the screen at you that you've got to match with timed button presses in order to not explode.
It looks like a triangle butthole with tentacles is shooting at your Beetle man.
Yes. Yes, it's a
Is that
it's
what's
a very
happening?
oppressive atmosphere. The music's very heavy and dark, and your button presses do time with the music, though it's so much to keep up with visually that I'm trying to learn to listen for the cues and listen for when to push the buttons. Yeah, this is a
Can
boss
you add
fight
your own
we're
music
seeing
in
here.
this?
I don't think so, no. But the music in it is pretty good.
But it's not your own. So it's never quite as good as it should be.
Yeah, it's going to require...
Not every video game needs the native howl. Okay.
Isn't that though?
It's going to require a lot of dedication and effort to get good at it. You said it reminds me of Guitar Hero, where I feel good when I finish the very simple stages, and then I see someone who's actually good at the game play it, and I just feel like I will never be able to do that in my life. Like, this is the easy baby, level of the game right now. We're seeing in the video.
It looks a lot like Audio Surf, which I played quite a bit of back in the day.
Is there like when the song ends, is that the end of the level, or is it does it just kind of keep going?
There seem to be lulls in the music. I don't know that it ever actually completely stops.
I'm hearing just kind of like steady drums, and then when you see stuff kind of on the screen, it kind of gets crazy for a second, but then it goes back to just kind of a steady drum beat.
So
It's
is
a
this
good
the
game
song
to
that
play
never
with.
ends then?
And then another
Could be.
butthole monster shows up.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
It ends when I get blown up.
Oh, so it's kind of like a roguelike.
It's
Or
a
more
good
like
game
an
to play
arcade game.
with headphones on.
Yeah, didn't you say there's a
That kind of-
VR version of it that would be real
Yeah.
trippy and...
Much as I can't even imagine that, yes. I think I would die.
Just get you some drugs, get you some VR headset, go over to Rob's house.
Yeah. If you die in the game, you die here.
The Matrix.
So protect your Beetle.
Yeah, keep that Beetle from all those butthole tentacles. It'll be good. All right, sweet. Well, Thumper, get it now on PS4 and PC.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, there you go. How much did it cost you?
I think it's $20.
$20. So quickfire review. Worth $20 to be a Beetle and making music?
I think so. If this kind of thing is appealing to you, I can only play it in short bursts because it's so intense. You've got to have all of your focus on it. You've got to be mindful when you play it. And
Is this
that takes a lot
available
of effort.
Is this also available on Xbox?
No, because it's a
Because
good game.
Xbox is a piece of shit.
Yeah, you've been getting a lot of mileage out of your PS4 over the last couple weeks here.
Yeah, for sure. Me and my wife have both been doing a lot of gaming on it.
That's because it's weird. Like when you make good games and you release them on your system, it's like people will play it. It's real
It's
fucking
uncanny.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, the Xbox doesn't have a lot going on that I'm interested in.
Can you imagine
Actually,
being
it
like
doesn't have anything going on
Can-
at
can-
all.
Like, does anyone follow Larry Herb's Twitter? Like, is he just ready to?
Who?
Larry
Yeah.
Major Nelson.
Larry Herb is like the Xbox Live community guy. Like he's the face of it. And I just
So he has
I have
the worst
to,
job on the planet.
I have to imagine that it's a rough time to be that guy right now. Like every other platform is just crushing it with sweet games coming out right now. You got Horizon, Final Fantasy, you got just all this cool stuff on the horizon. Phrasing that didn't come out quite right. you got a plethora of things to play if you got a PS4.
We'll
right
fix
now.
it in post.
The Switch, I mean, is a smashing success. Even though it's only got Zelda right now and a couple indies, like it's extremely successful and people are blown away by it. And there's the Xbox just sitting over there being a Netflix machine for people.
See,
Hey,
I'm never
hey.
sure whether the Xbox just doesn't have good games that anyone likes, or if it's just not my kind of games. So
No.
I see it as a failure because
No, it's-
shooters and racing games.
It's not got good games that anybody likes. I'm sorry. Forza Horizon 3 is. I read an article. It was talking about the top 17 games for the Xbox One. 4 of them were the Forza titles.
That's
4
bad.
of the top 17.
Were the rest of them Call of Duty?
2 of the top 17 were Halo games. Halo 5 Guardians and Halo Master Chief Collection. One of
That's a
those
bit of a
is
reach.
one of those is a new. One of those is a repackage. 2 of those games was Gears of War. One was Gears of War 4, and the other one was Gears of War Remastered. Once again, 1 new game and 1 remaster. So that's 8. That is half of all of those titles were from 3 different franchises, and 2 of them were repackages of old games.
Like I said, it's just a tough. I mean, the multiplayer.
But we're getting Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
just-
stopped listening.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. I don't know how they fix it other than make something that isn't Gears of War or Halo. Like clearly those aren't.
And there are people that love those games. I'm just not those people.
But it's the whole all your eggs in one basket thing, right? Like if the only thing that your console's known for is these 2 games, then I don't know, or 2 or 3, right? Gears, Halo, and Forza are kind of their big things. I just think that those have such a more narrow
And
appeal.
It's weird because when the original Xbox came out, and even into the
Yeah, I see my
Xbox
Beetle blow
360,
up here. Go
even
on.
into the Xbox 360, Microsoft had really good first-party stuff coming out. There were a lot of, pretty good titles that they were publishing, and now they're not publishing anything. The last thing that I can think of that wasn't Halo or Call of Duty that they published, or Forza that they published, was
Fable?
Sunset Overdrive,
Oh yeah, Sunset
Which-
Overdrive.
which that is just, it's not fun.
Well,
Okay.
The 360 had all those good indie titles on Xbox Live Arcade, and that
Uh-huh.
stuff's all gone. And they at least they tried to cater to an RPG crowd. It failed, but I liked it. You know, they had Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, and
They did a good job of getting timed exclusives on the Xbox 360 as well. Like Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out what was it, 2 years? It was out only on the 360 and the PC. BioShock was the same way.
Crackdown.
Mass Effect, I believe, was the same
Where's
way.
Crackdown 3?
God damn it.
Something.
You know, yeah. It's
BioShock
something.
was another one. The original BioShock, yeah. So, but see, to me, that's not enough. Like, getting a timed exclusive, I guess, would help in the short term. But if it's gonna eventually be on other platforms, then who cares?
Well, there's a difference between what they call a timed exclusive, where it's like, oh, you're gonna get it now, and then 3 months later, it's gonna come out on the other console. Versus, like, I'm serious. I think Oblivion was 2 full years before it came out on the PlayStation 4, maybe even longer than that. That's a huge span of time. 2 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we can't fix Xbox for them. I mean, I take that back. There's people out here, there might be people listening that love their Xbox Ones, and I'm not here to completely shit all over your parade, but I'd love to know what you're playing on it. Like, if you come at me with, like, oh, we're playing Destiny's great, sweet, but you can play that on PS4. Like, pretty much any game that anyone is probably playing seriously is available on another platform.
I think I know what people are playing on their Xbox One.
What's that? Netflix?
House of
House of Cards.
House of Cards. House of Cards.
Why are you watching House of Cards when Daredevil exists? Come on.
No. Why
not both, right?
Those don't
Jessica
seem like
Jones.
similar things, Spring.
They're not, because Daredevil is good.
Where the fuck is season 3
let's
of
not go down this
Daredevil?
road.
Actually,
Kevin Spacey.
I'm kidding. Kevin Spacey is phenomenal in House of Cards. It's a really good show. You should watch it.
Well, Brian,
The
to get us back
views
on
and
the
opinions of Aaron Kring do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Questlog.
correct,
But
and
don't they, though?
No.
Brian is going to get us back on the rails with
Oh,
Tiny Rails.
Oh,
That segue.
Tiny Rails.
yes, I got an Android phone for the first time,
What?
and you know what that means?
It means you got to put some games
Tiny
on it.
Rails.
So many
No,
free games that aren't $10.
Yeah, this game would crash
So-
constantly on my iPad, but I can play it on my phone. And I'm.
Hang on, Brian.
What's up, buddy?
When did you get that phone?
When?
When did you get that phone? Yeah, when?
Just a couple days ago.
So you've already gotten more gaming time out of your phone than your Xbox?
You're probably not too far from the truth. The most gaming time I spent on my Xbox was Ori and the Blind Forest. I played for a few hours, and it's a good game.
Oh,
You
isn't
can play
that
it on
one
the
of those?
PC.
Isn't that one of those, like, sort of indie kind of titles that would be real good if they had the Xbox Live Arcade like they used to? They can get a lot more of
You know what's
those.
sweet about Ori and the Blind Forest is you can get that on Steam too.
There it is.
Yeah, I know. I heard Maxwell. He said that. I heard him the first time. Thank you, Tyler.
I wasn't listening. I'm over here playing my Switch. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I've been playing Tiny Rails. It's just there to be a super relaxing, falling asleep until the phone lands on my face kind of game.
Game, Maxwell, don't lie.
It's a what?
It's a pooping game. Don't lie.
You
Come
can
on.
do that now, Brian. You
Sure.
have a phone that's in your pocket. A
I can
whole new
poop now?
world. Yes,
Playing games while
Thank
you
you.
poop
Thanks, guys.
is glorious.
it's Kring's favorite thing in the world to talk about every single time he gets on the show.
Yeah, I'll be talking about it on a therapist's couch one of these days here, I'm sure.
Hey, you just ended up in Detroit, Michigan in Tiny Rails here. Oh, and you get an
shit, yeah.
ad. You get an ad.
Hotel.
That's cool. You destroyed the mid lane turret.
Yep, it's a free-to-play game, so it's got the trappings that come with that. it doesn't feel overly shitty about it. And yeah, I'll definitely like, oh, you want to give me a free thing? I'll watch an ad, or I'll play an ad and set the phone down for a minute and come back to it.
Really putting those ad dollars to work there. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not too
There's
bad.
not a lot of
seems like
gameplay
in
to it.
between.
It's just it's got those nice 16-bit era graphics, and it's got the weather sounds and the clackety clack of the rails, and it's all just a real soothing, relaxing experience.
Huh. You can get
Not a lot of game to it, but
a
I tried
what
this
it does.
game for a little bit, and you're right. There's not a lot to it.
no, there's not.
There wasn't enough to keep me coming back to it day after day.
No, I can see that, and I might not either. But the closest thing I can compare it to at a glance, it looks like, what was it, Pocket Trains?
Yeah.
I think, but there's a whole lot less going on
There's
here.
a lot less to this than Pocket Trains.
It's mostly just, watch the trains and buy some upgrades, buy some stuff to sell at a different city.
It's a cool concept. It's a well done game. It's polished, I would say.
It's a nice screensaver.
I don't understand the appeal at all, but I appreciate that it exists for people who want it.
There you go.
It's
I
solely-
can understand the appeal for a little while there. I got into watching model
dry?
train videos. No, model train videos on YouTube. There were several I watched of dudes who had their model train sets fitted with snow plows, and they had outdoor rails, and they had snow all over them, and they would snowplow their own tracks.
Huh.
Yes.
That's
The internet
kinda-
is a weird place.
That is true. That's one of the least weird things you can find there.
Join us next week for Train Simulator 2017.
Well, let's give the people more of what they want. And it's Final Fantasy 15, Brian. You just keep coming back to it.
Yeah, I've been coming back to it. I haven't really picked up Horizon this week, just because I don't think I can divide my time between those two games very effectively.
That's why you
Cat's
don't
been
divide
playing
your time.
Horizon.
You just play Horizon all the time.
What's that?
That's why you don't divide your time. You just play Horizon all the time, kind of like we do with Zelda.
No,
It'll
play
have its
Final
time.
Fantasy.
Cat's been playing Horizon. I've been watching her here and there. Yeah, with Final Fantasy 15, I finally left the starting area and came to a different zone, and it's not perfect. Like, it's got random battles where the enemies just suddenly like spawn in front of me as I'm walking. I'm like, oh shit, there's a lizard where there wasn't a lizard before. Okay, I guess we kill it. And oddly enough, I'm fine with that because I've been playing video games and RPGs for so many years. It's a random battle. I get how those work, but
Well, Final Fantasy's kind of known for that, though, aren't they?
yeah. I'm also a fugitive, so way too frequently there'll be like one of my guys running along with me will be like, Noctis, there's a dropship overhead. And, a big old Imperial ship flies up and drops down 10 foot soldiers for me to fight. And that's happening enough that I'm just sick of it, and I'll just keep on running. And it's funny because, like, if you run for long enough, like, the combat just kind of ends and you keep going. So, like, they'll pull up their ship and they'll drop everyone, and I just keep walking. And, like, I'm looking, like, I swing the camera around and look behind me, and they kind of chase me for a minute and then just stop and get back on the ship and leave.
We'll get you next time.
Ah, fuck it. It's far. Just we'll catch him later. Let's go.
I'm watching the video of this, and it's blowing my mind how like just modern
That
it
sandwich
looks.
looks.
Yeah, it's four dudes sitting at this diner outside ordering club sandwiches, and they're sitting in like just
Shitty
like
plastic lawn
shitty
chairs.
white plastic lawn chairs that I have in my yard right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's just strange for a Final Fantasy game to look that.
Got him down at the Lowe's for $8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, expecting them to like hit up Walmart next and try to find some BOGO deals on black fitted T-shirts and cut off jean shorts.
I'm pretty sure they got their camping gear at a Gander Mountain going out of business sale.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh.
Yep.
That one's-
I'm finding different Final Fantasy soundtracks to play in the car while we're driving. I just found a Chocobo, I don't know, rental agency.
Oh
So
yeah.
you have a car, but
Rent
you can
a
still hop
chocobo?
on the back of a big chicken.
Yeah, because the big chicken's off road.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
Not taking that sports car off road. It's a ATV.
Well, don't they have Subarus in Final Fantasy?
There it is.
It's gonna be DLC.
That would have been funny is if the Chocobo dealer was like, it's just dirt bikes that are yellow and look kind of like a chicken. That'd be kind of cool.
So yeah,
Or not.
Yeah, I'm still into this. It's still got that kind of like dichotomy where there's serious shit going on in the world, but I'm like, yeah, but there's a chocobo ranch, and I can run around out in the woods and hunt chickens and stuff, and the kingdom can wait.
Go get a club sandwich over at
It'll be
Earl's.
fine.
There's new recipes to make.
Exactly.
Pictures to
Let
take.
me drive over to this Chocobo Ranch in my super modern, futuristic almost car, and then get out and ride a giant chicken.
That's cool though. I like it.
My fantasy.
I like that it's different and weird. That's cool.
Yes.
So you think you'll finish this one, Brian? You think you'll get all the way to the end?
I'd like to think so. I'm hanging with it.
Really need to, Brian.
Yeah.
Really need to.
All right, for you, Luke.
Please. I'm really excited for the day that we can sit here and you can describe to me the ending. Not spoilerish, but just let me know what you thought of it.
All the feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to watch Kingsglaive too. Me and Kat
Yes.
have to find a couple of hours where we're both awake and the kids are not awake.
Not always an easy formula
No.
to fill there. Yeah. Sorry, Kring. What were you gonna say?
No, I can't remember now.
No, well,
fine.
okay. It wasn't important anyway.
It
I
wasn't.
promise.
You started talking about Kingsglaive, and I zoned out.
Well, get ready to zone out again because I'm going to talk about snipper clips.
No, Snipper
Does-
Clips actually looks real good.
It
It looks like the game.
does look
It's
good
the
because
game
it is
that
real
Nintendo
good.
should have been pushing as their sort of tie-in.
This is what this tech can
what-
do.
This is what this tech can do. It should have been Snipper Clips, and instead it's 1-2 Switch, which isn't even a damn game, and it's $50, and this is $20. It's way better.
Yes.
Should have been you, Snipper Clips. Should have been you.
Should have been Snipper Clips.
So, if anyone who's watching this can see, the concept in snipper clips is you take your Joy-Cons. Hold on, I'm going to do a little video thing here. You take your Joy-Cons off, right?
Don't forget your straps, Tyler.
Yeah,
I
don't
always forget my straps.
drop them.
But anyway, you turn them sideways, and you got yourself a little mini controller there. And you turn it sideways, and you got shoulder buttons, which rotate your little clipped-out person. And then the directional buttons become your action buttons, and you got a joystick. It's all pretty good. And the goal is to solve these little puzzles. Each one's real quick. They only take 5 minutes or so usually at the most. But you're one little piece of paper, and the other person is the other one. And when you overlap each other, if one person presses the right button, it does a little cutout and snips a little clip out of them. And the shapes that you make yourself into will let you do different things. Like there's some puzzles where you need to pop balloons, so you have to make a sharp kind of angle in yourself with your partner, and use it to pop balloons. Or maybe you need to carry a basketball from one side of the map to the other one and shoot it in a basket. So you make a little cutout for the basketball to fit in. It's all really cool. It's all done super well. The controls are easy. If you're gonna watch this right now, somebody's gonna try to get this ball across the screen.
I watched a quick look of this, and it looked fun until they got to a series of puzzles where it was like an egg would drop out of a chute, and they'd have to pass the egg back and forth, like a human chain, pass the egg across the screen without dropping it.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few of those puzzles, and that looked horrible to me. That looked super frustrating. But I haven't played it.
So when I saw this, I immediately thought this could be something cool to play with my daughter. She just turned 4, and I've been looking for some kind of game that I can start to kind of show her how an analog stick works and how, running and jumping at the same time works and all that kind of stuff. And this turned out to be perfect for that. Like, at first I thought there's no way she's going to get this. She had a really hard time with, like, remembering which buttons were which. And we played for about an hour or so. And by the end of that, she was laughing, having a ball. It was a ton of fun. And the next day we played it again, and she remembered the controls. She remembered how to rotate her character and how to jump and how to snip me. She got a real kick out of that. Like, if you completely cut the other person out, they kind of like poof away, and the one that's left laughs and giggles. It's all like a really fun, cute game, and she had a blast with it. So
this looks like the only thing beyond Zelda that I would even consider for the Switch at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the other things that are available right now are mostly indie games that are available on Steam or other platforms already. This is the only other exclusive that I know of that is really...
There's that one that looks kind of like F-Zero.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
Fast,
kind of cool
Fast
too.
RMX.
That's true.
There's a Blaster
Fast
Master
remix.
game coming out.
I didn't know that. That's maybe something to consider too. But yeah, Snipper Clips is great, and everyone should check it out. If you got a Switch, it's a free demo you can download and play like the first 5 levels or something like that. I highly recommend it. I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the things that are not Zelda. What do you guys think after having a week in Hyrule?
Do we want to talk Zelda or do we want to talk hardware?
We can do kind of both, I think. I think they can. If we want to start with hardware, that's fine.
Oh, well, now you talked Zelda, so too late.
The hardware is pretty good.
Zelda is the greatest game of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time.
The GOAT?
I feel like Kanye is gonna just walk up in the middle of the game and be like, I'm gonna let you finish. But this is the greatest game of all time, and then just leave.
I've heard a few people say that. I've heard a few reviews claim that, and I kind of was like, well, I mean, come on, the greatest game of all time. That's a pretty
bold statement.
Bold
Tyler,
claim.
the only thing that could make this game any better is if, like in Skyrim, when I walked into somebody's house, I had the ability to rifle through all their shit. That's the only thing that can make this game better.
I keep trying to temper my feelings towards this because I'm like, no, it's brand new. It's a brand new console. I've only had it for a week. This is gonna wear off, and I don't know how it could, because I think the game succeeds at doing every single thing it tries to do and does it better than any other game I've ever played. So so it very well might be the best game of all time.
I would say it's definitely the best Zelda game.
Yeah, I would say
And
that too.
I used to consider A Link to the Past as top echelon of games ever.
I agree with you, Luke, and I think that the reason it does, for me anyway, is that the game respects you enough to just let you do what you want to do.
Let you die.
Yeah, it lets you die. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't assume that you won't be able to figure anything out. It gives you the tools within the first hour that you'll need to do pretty much everything in the game. And then you just set out and do it.
In a gaming
So it
world
sounds like-
where everything is just, here's how you do this. Press A to kill this boss.
Right.
Do this. It's
That's all.
pretty amazing that you just go out into the world and here you go. Figure it out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't hold your hand at all, and you have to figure it out.
It's not just the you have to figure it out portion of it. It's that then the world behaves logically.
Yes.
So it's stuff that's intuitive. If you see an enemy in water and you hit them with something electrical, it's gonna give them a real hard time. If you try to go into a cold area with nothing on but your Switch T-shirt because you pre-ordered the DLC. Or no, the game. Pre-ordered the game.
No, you're right,
Your
the
Switch
DLC.
T-shirt. Was it for pre-ordering the DLC or the game?
It was for buying the DLC.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. I did both because I needed that T-shirt.
Anyway,
if you go into an area like that, then you're gonna die, and not slowly. It's gonna be pretty quick.
I think a good example is you have to, at one point, go to this furnace to get this blue flame and bring it to a science lab. And it doesn't just tell you, you walk up here and press A to light your torch on fire or anything. You have to go up to it. You have to have a torch. You have to swing the torch to light it on fire and walk it back. And then swing your torch again to light the furnace.
No, you don't. Because this is what I was going to get at. That is one way to do it, and that is not the only way though. Because if you have a bow and arrow, you can light one of your arrows on fire with a blue flame and shoot one of the other lanterns, or you can get on your horse and carry.
Light your horse on fire?
Carry. I had a broom on me, or a mop. I think it was a mop. And I was carrying the mop and dragging that through the fire and then using that and riding up on these other ones and lighting the torches with that. So there's, like Kring was saying, there's logical solutions to everything. And the game just keeps making me go, hey, I wonder if I can do this. And then the answer is always yes.
But my point is still, it's not just the game having you press a button to do something.
Exactly.
You have to figure it out for yourself and how you want to accomplish this.
Yeah, and it doesn't hold your hand to do that. There are myriad ways to move that flame from point A to point B, and you happen to pick that one with a torch.
If it's raining,
use the wooden spear.
If it's raining, you're screwed.
Yep.
Sorry, game doesn't care. You're screwed. You're not doing that quest right now. Go sleep until it's not raining.
Brian,
so I feel like for a lot of years, I feel like the Zelda games have gotten kind of lazy and kind of by the book. Like there's just a list of check boxes that they check off for every release of Zelda, and you kind of know what to expect.
Make sure
this feels like there's a sense of wonder and exploration that has been missing for a very long time.
The word you just said, wonder, is how if somebody could say, like, describe Breath of the Wild in one word, that's it. It's wonder. Because
I would describe it as breathtaking.
Ooh, I like that. I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah.
No, I'm with Tyler in wonder, because I had this moment earlier today. I'm up at the top of a mountain, and there's a canyon next to me on the map, and I'm looking down through that canyon. And I see nothing but like fog. And in traditional Zelda games past, I would fall off that mountain to my death, and it would just put me back on the top of the mountain. Now I go and I paraglide out over it, and I drop down into that canyon, and I continue to go further and further and further. And then now you're in a completely different world at the bottom of the canyon. It's lush, it's green, there's things down there to do, and it's crazy that mere seconds ago I was at the top of a snowy peak.
Yep.
Now I'm on the edge of a river.
If you see something in the game, you know you can go to it.
Yep.
Yeah. All those video gamey things where it's like, nope, there's a magic barrier there because this is a video game and I can't walk past that.
Eventually you get to some of that, like the very edges of the map, the overworld map. You can't go any further, but there have
to be limits somewhere.
Exactly. It's not anything that takes you out of the experience like it did in previous Zeldas, where it's like, there's no way out of this zone because all the walls are just too high. Like,
you fell in the water. You can't swim because you don't have Zora fins.
Right.
Can't walk past the tree.
There's none of that. And it's just amazing to me that how well all of the systems in this game fit together. Like between the physics system that they're using and the environmental logic rules and things like that, the way this all plays together makes for just really exciting gameplay. Right now they're showing the shrines, which I think are another highlight of the game, at least for me. I know for you, Craig.
Love the shrines.
The shrines are like mini dungeons. Like there's not gone is the formula of go through a 2-hour intro sequence, get to the first dungeon, get an item, use it to complete that dungeon, get sent back to town, go to the next dungeon. That doesn't happen anymore. It's completely open world. It's completely non-linear. You can start anywhere. You can do whatever you want. And I lost my train of thought because I'm thinking about all the stuff I want to do in Hyrule. I totally forgot where I was going with that. But the shrines. So the shrines are like dotted throughout the map, and they act as fast travel points. So when you unlock one, that becomes a new spot where you can fast travel. And then when you go down through it, it's maybe like a, what'd you say, like 5-10 minute dungeon. There's usually a theme.
Yeah, it depends on the dungeon.
Yeah, it depends on the dungeon. There's usually a theme that pops up, and it'll tell you if it's either a trial or a combat trial, or just a regular. I think there's some that are just you unlock by getting to them. So like if just by getting through the environment and doing whatever, you've completed that dungeon. And they're great. They're addictive. I can't stop doing them. Every time I see one, I stop what I'm doing. I'm like, nope, I'm going to go through that and do that shrine because they're that rewarding.
They're very simple, but when you see the solution to it, you're like, oh, that's awesome. Because the game makes it fun to use your different abilities and figure out the puzzle.
Some of them are like codes. Like there was one that I had to bust out a pen and paper to kind of like write down the pattern that was in this one because you needed that to solve another shrine that was nearby.
Tyler had to write down the pattern because he didn't understand that his Switch has a camera. Zelda has a camera. He could have taken a picture of the screen, which is what I did because I don't need a pen and paper because I have technology. Okay, now go back to your story.
Yeah, you're real proud of yourself, Kring, there, but it took you more time switching between the menus than it did for me to just look down at my paper. So, and whatever, F you, it was fun for me to do that. It reminded me of when I was playing Mega Man 2 back in the day. Exactly. I had to write down the code when I died in Mega Man so I could start where I left off. That's what it felt like. Fuck you, Kring.
Ruin everything.
Ruin this too. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, you're right, Brian. The Zelda formula has gotten stale over the years, and this literally breathes new life into it.
When's the last time you had to get out a pen and paper and chart something or draw something?
It's
for a game.
Literally since the
Link to the
NES
Past.
days. Yeah. And I think one of the big successes is that it takes the familiar Zelda parts and does away with the expectations around them. Like, you still pick up rupees. Rupees are still your stuff, but I remember when I got to 99, I had picked up like 99, and I went, oh, fuck, am I going to need to find a bigger wallet? And I got another 20 or something, and I didn't. And then on and on and on. I still didn't have to find a bigger wallet. It's so far, I haven't found the limit of it. I haven't made a whole lot of money either, but
I've had over 5,000 at one point. So I don't think there is a limit.
Did we lose Tyler?
I think we did lose Tyler. Did you?
Your mic's dead.
there we go. I had to cough.
Hey, bud.
It didn't unmute. Good
So what
stuff.
were you saying there?
I was saying...
You were pretty animated.
Yeah, was I? I don't know. I was probably saying something about Kring getting out of here. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Zelda's good. Play Zelda.
Do either of you have any complaints about the game? Any issues that you're...
Oh, yeah, that's what I was starting to get into there. We were talking about money and, rupees and that sort of thing. And, Kring, you were saying that, like, you weren't really thrilled about having to buy stuff, like arrows.
It's not having to buy stuff. It's that the only way to get it is to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you could technically run around and find, stray arrows from bokoblins.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to spend 3 hours harvesting arrows, this isn't Stardew Valley, Tyler. I'm not farming here.
That's funny.
I don't think I care for your tone right now.
Yeah. Shots fired at Stardew Valley, apparently. But no, I like that. I like that everything...
Harvest Moon? Do you like that one better, Maxwell? Harvest Moon?
What's that?
Farming Simulator 2015. Pick a game about farming. It's not that.
All right. Farming Simulator 2015.
Anyway, I think it feels pretty natural. I mean, you could either find your stuff from enemies or you buy it from a shop.
What I was saying is that, like, I've only ever, gotten like a very small handful, 2, 3 maybe arrows from an enemy, and then
Really?
you come across, like
I
they don't.
pick up packs of 20.
Where are you
packs of
picking up?
5?
I was
Sorry,
gonna say, like, yeah, I
that's
get
a big difference there.
I get the packs of 5, but they're super rare. Usually, it's just an arrow or 2 that you find on the ground from a shot that they missed.
Dodge arrows and pick them up.
I like that I'm having to think about things in the game that I didn't think about in any other game. Like, rain is a problem. You mentioned that earlier, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Running out of arrows is a problem. Running out of food is a problem. Like, you need to be able to adapt to all these different things, and it's in a way that feels organic and not gamey. It doesn't feel like it's just saying, you need to go craft X because there's this one room that you'll need that in. It's, no, I need to have this stuff ready because it could start raining at any time and I could not have a source of fire all of a sudden.
There's a right way and a wrong way to do that stuff, and I haven't played it yet, but like temporary buffs, that's usually something that I'm not fond of in games at all, where it's like, all right, drink this potion, you got this extra armor for 3 minutes.
I usually don't like that either, but it's what I found. So, like, in a game like Skyrim, right, you can do the same thing. You can get these temporary buffs, you can craft potions and stuff. I never spent any time with them because they weren't really necessary. If you could get around it in other ways. And here, there's an element of that too. Like, you could go get all of the fire resist gear, right, to get through Death Mountain, but you can also go craft yourself a bunch of flame resist potions, or you can, use ice stuff, to keep yourself cool and that sort of thing. There's multiple ways to do
buffs
stuff.
in this game, like especially from the food and whatnot, feel more like part of the puzzle of the game than just a buff that you get to help yourself in combat. It's
and
like,
they're necessary.
All right, like just earlier today, I was doing up against a bunch of electricity monsters. I was like, okay, I need this resist electricity potion to get through this part of the game.
Right.
And they've made the world dangerous enough to the point where you could put these buffs on you, but you still have to be careful or you're gonna get crapped on. Like, it doesn't make you invincible. It doesn't mean that you're gonna just here's these potions, like a pay to win sort of a thing. You just spend your money.
Not a Mario star.
Yeah, sure. So it's even though you've got these buffs, you still feel like you still have to focus on what you're doing. You still have to think about what you're doing.
Another good example is towards the beginning of the game when you have to go to the cold area in the mountain, and you walk up and you've got the spicy peppers and then a cooking thing over to your right. And it's like, okay, well, here's just all part of this puzzle that I have to put together, and I cook them, and then now I have a buff that keeps me warm in cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really natural, and it feels like you are solving a puzzle on how to survive the next area with these buffs.
They've worked the puzzle elements, and that was something that I was going to try to bring up, is that it feels like somewhere along the way they interpreted what made the original Legend of Zelda great wrong. Like, they started picking pieces out of what Zelda is and defining them a certain way, and it feels like they took the wrong interpretation of it. Like, what made the original Legend of Zelda great was that feeling of exploration, that feeling of you could just go anywhere and do anything, and stuff was hidden in the world and it wasn't necessarily called out. Like, there's no way to know which which bush to burn, right, in the original Legend of Zelda to get into the secret area, other than if somebody tells you about it, one of your friends or something, or you read about it in Nintendo Power, or Brian's case, you call the hotline and have some poor bastard tell it to you over the phone.
Or you burn every single bush.
Or burn every single bush down because maybe it has some rupees behind it. Like they took that stuff and started like walking you right to it and saying, here is where the secret is. Here is how you get into this door and use this item because you have to do that. And no, you can't use that yet. And you have to do this first.
It was a different time.
Yeah, they've instead gone back to what made the original great and just said, here's this world. They've made it interesting to look at and interesting to explore, and they let you fill in all the blanks and
it's all there. Something to figure it out.
Yep.
And they let the environment work in their favor as well with these puzzles. I had one that there was a shrine, and my shrine indicator was going off, and I could see there's these big doors that I'm at. I could see it through this crack in the center. I could see the shrine, and so I tried to bomb. Nothing. I tried to do the stasis thing and beat the crap out of them until they slam open. Nothing. I try to see if they're magnetic. Nope. And so then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll come back to this. And I turn around and I look behind me to move away because I had come in over a mountain cliff and kind of like paraglided in there. And I turn around and I see this is like a snowy hill, and there's all these like grooves in the snow, and I'm like, the heck's this? So I walk up to the top, and sure enough, when I get to the top, there's these little snowballs. So you have to pick up a snowball and throw it down the correct groove, and it will get bigger as it goes down the hill. And then by the time it gets to the bottom of the hill, it's big enough that it just blasts the door open. And it's something that if I had just been like, screw it, climb back up the cliff that I came from, I never would have figured that out. It's all in the environment.
Your story actually made me think of a way to solve a shrine that I couldn't figure out earlier.
There you go. See, let's do this. We're the hotline now.
There's one, and there's constantly those little moments where I think like, I wonder if that's how they intended for me to solve that, or if I just figured out like a different way. Like there's an area where there's a bunch of lightning, and you can't equip any of your metal stuff because you'll get electrocuted, right? And there's these different balls that are kind of perched up on this these pedestals, and you have to move them all onto this kind of plateau area. And I'm trying to figure out how the heck to do it. I'm trying to like stasis them and then shoot them with my bow to kind of fling them off of there. And then I had the idea, I'm like, I take my sword out, I throw it on the ground, I use the magnesis ability that's kind of like telekinesis, but it only works with metal, to levitate my sword up and put it next to one of these balls. And then the lightning struck it and flung the ball in the direction that I needed it to go. And I was like, man, I don't know if that was crazy. The right way to do it, but it worked and got the quest done, got the thing unlocked. Like,
BRB playing Zelda after that story.
Yeah, the fact that kind of stuff just works is so cool to me, that you can use the environment and use the different abilities that you have right from the start in different ways to do really cool stuff. So, I mean, as it stands right now, it's definitely my game of the year. I know we're only 3 months in, so that's not saying much, but
2.
If it doesn't give me any reason to stop playing, which I can't imagine it will, this may be the best game I've ever played.
At the rate that I'm going through this game, it's going to last me months.
Yeah, progression.
Yeah,
fast.
I was trying to do the math of how many hours I put in this week on it. I've probably got 35 hours into this game, and I feel like I've still just scratched the surface. It does not feel like I've done that much.
There are times when I'll play and just walk through the village, just slow walk and watch the other NPCs and see what they do, or I'll just stand on the top of a mountain and watch the clouds and the moon
Mm-hmm.
and just explore. And I'll walk through a little valley area and find absolutely nothing and be completely at peace with it.
Can you? There's some complaints early on that I was reading that people said the world felt empty. Does that make any sense to you after playing this for a week?
Yes, there are wide areas of nothingness to them, but it makes sense. Like there are other games, like look at World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
where like every single area is just jam packed full of stuff for you to fight and kill, to the point where you can't walk more than 10 feet without aggroing something.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, yeah, there are wide open areas, but it all makes sense because not every single area is going to have a goblin camp in it.
Right.
They're going to be more towards the river, and they're going to where there's resources for them.
They,
in the middle of the field, there's not going to be shit. It makes sense.
I've also read that enemies are more active at night. So you might go through one of those areas in the middle of the day that seems pretty wide open. But then if you go through it at night, you might get a bunch of like Lizalfos in there, or the skeleton dudes spawning up out of the ground. Because I was in a field on my way to a shrine that I could see, and it's across this big expanse, this just empty field. But I feel like it's because I was at night, there was just constantly stuff coming at me, where maybe in the daytime it would have been empty and kind of a boring trek across this empty field to get to this shrine.
What Luke was saying, though, I think is how I feel about it, is even when I'm in those areas where there's not necessarily a bunch of enemies, the world feels alive in a way that a lot of other games don't. Like, you would say that Hyrule Field in Ocarina of Time is empty, because it is. There's like nothing in it. But here, there's those little environmental puzzles that I talked about last week, where it's like, move this rock over into the circle to complete the circle, and it unlocks a little Korok seed. Or there's the random bokoblin camp that has a cool chest that unlocks when you kill all of them. Like those little things that could have just been like a pack of enemies now have a potential for a cool reward, and there's just stuff happening there. I don't know. I don't know how you could get bored just exploring this world. There's so much to see and do in every little nook and cranny.
Yeah, you're completely right. There's a lot of stuff that's hidden as well.
Right.
Like I went through and climbed a large rocky hill, and at the top of it was absolutely nothing except for a small rock I could pick up, and when I do that, I got a seed.
Yep. Little
Korok
guy hiding under there.
What looks to be completely empty world is something for you to find.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me for Zelda. Is there anything else you guys want to cover before we move on to some of the news?
Looks fun.
Nailed it.
You know what, Maxwell? So does Night in the Woods.
I got plenty
That
of
looks
games
fun
to
as
keep
well.
me busy.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous of you. See, I just have this, and then one game on my Xbox.
I did fall asleep playing it last night. I woke up and went, "Oh God, where did I hope I didn't crush my Switch." And
I wanna dig into the hardware for just a quick second before we move on to the news, because Tyler just got me with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am most impressed by how well this thing works in what it does. You put it into sleep mode and you pick it back up from sleep mode. Like the Xbox sort of does this, where if you leave an app running, you can come back to it later. But 9 times out of 10, if it's like you've left it for more than a couple of hours, it'll have to reload the app from scratch, the game from scratch, and it won't just play. This thing, you can shut it off for a day, put it in sleep mode, come back. I walk in the door, and it's crazy. If my TV is set to the input that the Switch is on, I don't know what it's doing, but I will come in, I will press the home button on my controller, and it will start the Switch up, and somehow it automatically turns my TV on. I don't have to pick up the remote, turn the TV on, do anything. It just does it. And I tested it with my Xbox. I did it the same way. It doesn't do it. It doesn't do it at all. And I did another thing too, where I had the TV input set to the Xbox's HDMI slot, and I had my console in sleep mode and docked, and I pressed the home button on my computer or my controller, and it did not turn the console on. It's like it knows that my TV is not set to receive its signal, so it doesn't start up.
Huh. Weird.
It's like crazy.
That is interesting. I haven't heard of that feature, but I'm glad it's working for you. It may explain why my my HDMI splitter or switch here has a similar reaction. Like as soon as I dock the switch, it switches the input for me. I don't have to hit the button, and my monitor switches over to the switch. So it may be sending some kind of power signal over HDMI or something. I don't know, but it works. It works real well. Mm-hmm. It is seamless. I was very skeptical of that. I was like, well, you're going to dock it, and then it's going to take it a minute to, like reload or do anything. Nope. It just instant pick up exactly where you left off. Pick up your controller. It realizes that you've got the controller now instead of the Joy-Cons, and you're good to go.
It actually kind of makes me okay with the fact that it doesn't have a lot of multimedia things on it. Like, it doesn't have the virtual console's not up yet. It doesn't have Netflix or any other streaming apps on it yet. But the actual mechanic of switching between tablet and docked mode is so smooth that I'm glad they didn't waste a bunch of time trying to get Netflix on this thing if it would have meant sacrificing how well that ability works.
Being told in the chat that the PS4 does this as well.
Oh, as far as the switching goes, like the input switching and stuff with the TV? That's
I
cool.
think so.
Cool. Oh, so it's just the Xbox that's a piece of shit again?
Surprise!
Yeah.
One thing I like, and Aaron, you kind of alluded to this earlier, was if I come home from work and it's been sitting there all day, I can power it up, hit A, and I'm right back into that game in like 3 seconds flat.
The exact moment where you left off,
yes.
too, not like having to load from somewhere else or,
yep.
Oh, load your game save. I haven't even, can you even like get back to the main menu and like select a different save file like you used to be able to do on the previous Zelda entries? Like, I don't even know.
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
I think if you hit plus, right trigger, I think there's an option for main menu in there.
I've never had to go back to it. I've never seen the main menu screen.
Yeah,
there's a save, a load, I think an options, and a main menu.
Well.
We can always just check right here,
Oh, I'm in a cutscene.
Yeah, no, I can't do that either. Yeah, I'm surfing. I'm seal surfing.
There is not a main menu button.
There's not? Did I just imagine that?
Nope, I'm with you, Kring. I was like, I don't know how to get back to the main menu, but
none of those say main menu. It's out of focus.
Options,
but they don't say
was it
main
ability
menu.
or something?
Ability controls.
Yeah.
It was the ability I thought was main menu.
But even still, like, I had this. This is just so cool. It's off now. Can you see, or the light? Okay,
there you go.
It's off now. You just pop it on. Seconds. Hit the A button a few times
to unlock it,
and done. Back into the game. What's that? Like Luke said, 3 seconds?
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast this goes.
Need to put this down.
Take it away, Brian. We're all playing Switch.
It's like a PlayStation Vita, only done well.
Yeah, poor Vita owners. Is it Vita the current one, or is it... What's the...
I think that's the most recent one.
Didn't that come out like 8 years ago?
Well, look...
Doesn't matter.
Is this... Okay, here's the question. Is this a home console, or is it a handheld first? Which one is it
Yes.
primarily?
See,
It's whatever you want it to be.
We'll be in two different camps, Tyler, because you have used yours primarily as a handheld console. I have used mine almost exclusively as a home console.
I'm
So
with Aaron.
it's both.
That's the thing is I've heard some some reviews try to put it one way or the other and emphasize one or the other, but I think it does both so well that it's the first hybrid system that actually feels like a hybrid system and not
Here's an awesome moment that I had, where the day I bought it, or it was like the Monday after or something, I'm talking to my boss. I'm like, dude, like I have the Switch, playing Nintendo or playing Zelda. It's awesome. He's like, oh yeah, sounds really cool. Like, let me know how it is like in a week or so. Like, let me know what you think. I'm like, I will literally just bring it into work tomorrow and show you the game. He's like, yeah, you could. That's so awesome. And so I did. It was the same day you locked yours in the server room. I brought it in. I saw my boss. I was like, hey, you busy? He's like, oh, what? He's like, I brought it. I'll bring it to your office. And we sat in his office, had it on his table, and I was showing him everything about the Switch. You can't do that with PS4 or Xbox. You can't do it with my PC.
Yeah.
This you can. And I took it home, put it back in the dock, put my Joy-Cons back in the controller, hit A 4 times. I was back in the game right where I left off from his office.
Yep.
I can't do that with my phone or anything else.
And I think that the thing that makes this a true hybrid is, like, Tyler, you've played almost exclusively in tablet mode, and you have not had any diminished quality in the experience at all, at any moment.
I still, like, at night, I still dock it and I play it on my monitor, same setup as my PC and everything. But yeah,
I think it runs a little better in tablet mode from what I've been told.
Yeah, some people said the frame rate is a little bit better.
It looks a lot better,
It's
in my
only
opinion.
It's running in 720p, so I think for
a
Zelda
little performance
specifically,
boost.
yeah, it takes a little bit of a hit when they upscale it to 900, but it's not noticeable. I'll tell you that. Like, if it's noticeable, it's not hindering. I guess it's not. It doesn't detract from the experience in any real way.
And I guess I don't want to make it sound like I'm letting Zelda get away with some flaws. I'm willing to accept a couple of things because this is a game that was not designed for this console from the ground up. It was designed for the Wii U, and they're like, they just decided to port it much the way they did with Twilight Princess when it was on the GameCube and the Wii, and it works so well right now that I can only feel that it will be completely flawless once they're designing and developing games for this console from the ground up.
Mm-hmm. There's a few performance hiccups issues I've seen on it.
Yeah, nothing major though. But yeah, it's great. It's got me excited about gaming in a way that I haven't been in a while. So
The real criticisms I've heard from people are the inventory system of having to juggle weapons and drop weapons is not great. And I've heard it said that like some of the open world combat feels pointless. Like you're going to run in there and break 2 weapons and pick up maybe 2 worse weapons. And that there's not always a reason.
I actually avoid a lot of combat in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because I find that exciting. There's something that feels incredibly badass about going in.
You're good at it though.
I guess. But it feels really cool it feels like an action movie or something when you drop into a place and you've got like maybe some okay weapons, and I know that they're gonna break, and I'm gonna pick up that stupid goblin's staff and shove it right through his face as soon as I'm done with his sword. Like, that feels really cool to me. And like, oh, this one's almost broken, I just chuck it at that dude in the back and then pull out my bow and use my bow to take a few people out. And when that breaks, I'll get out a big 2-handed sword and just finish everybody up with that. Like, I love that part of the game. So yeah, it is a little jarring at first when you're like, those are my weapons, though. I really like that claymore, and it just broke. That part sucks, but you get over that pretty quick with how exciting and fun the combat is. For me,
I do get a little bit of a Dark Souls vibe from the combat, from what I see.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be pretty precise.
some
It
of
looks
those
like with your
dodges and
and
stuff.
rolls.
Yeah, but you get rewarded greatly for them. So, like in Dark Souls, I think you dodge something and your reward is that you didn't just get one shot. In Zelda, you dodge something like that, and your reward is that you didn't just get one shot, but also you get this flurry attack where it goes slow motion and you get in a bunch of like super quick hits that do a bunch of damage. I think it rewards that timing and stuff a little bit better.
And not only a flurry attack for dodging, you can also parry the attacks really well. You can even parry. So those guardians that will shoot like a laser beam at you, you can parry that laser beam back to them, and it will kill them.
Yeah.
It's real
Rob
good.
in the chat saying he did notice the frame rate issues. I think he's not the only one.
I kind of misspoke. I said I've noticed it too, but
Right.
it's never been like
Didn't hinder the
This
gameplay.
game sucks. It's like, yeah, I can't keep a solid frame rate, and it's bumming me
Right.
out. Like,
It's
it's never been.
it's
If I can
always- it's always
tolerate
brief.
the Dishonored 2 frame rate drops, I can tolerate this.
especially it's brief. I've only ever, like, when I notice it, it's a second or two, and then it's gone. It's like the game is like still trying to load something up in that area, and it just hiccups for a second or two.
There are people online who are basically saying it's like the end of the world because
Right. Oh, there's a
Or-
frame rate drop.
for a tenth of a second their frame rate drops. It's not bad.
But those are also probably the same kind of assholes that are
That's why an Xbox One.
obsessed. No, that are obsessed with making sure that their gaming PC is displaying in 4K at 90 frames per second, or else it's a piece of shit and they can't, handle that. So, well,
Shots
a game on an
fired.
Xbox it's basically broken already. So I'm cool.
Your standards are already low.
Yeah.
Should we talk? Should I bring up the fact that I have new friends up here?
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to mention
The-
this or not.
The amiibo craze has finally struck me. Breath of the Wild. I know we started talking about the system, and now we're talking about Zelda again, but this is kind of related to the system. The amiibos were a thing I didn't give any shits about the entirety that they've been around.
There's a reason to make fun of Vito.
Yeah, it was Vito, who was on the show and our resident Nintendo fanboy, has been collecting them since their inception, and we used to give him shit for going around and hunting for them. And the past week, I've been hunting for amiibos that you can't get anymore because they've added really cool stuff in Breath of the Wild that unlocks with very specific amiibos that aren't in production anymore. So
Yeah, and in typical
you
Nintendo
go.
fashion, they're not re-releasing them. They're just letting the secondary market sell them for $50 a piece, and then getting none of that money because Nintendo's very good at business decisions.
well, I keep managing to make money. I don't know.
I don't get it.
All these ways
I
on
don't
how to
get
fix
how.
it, but they still come out smelling like roses. So, but yeah, I picked up a few of them. So far, my interest in amiibos has been limited to the ones that do cool shit in Zelda, and I'm hoping that it stays that way because those fuckers aren't cheap.
Not gonna, Tyler. You have popped your cherry by buying some of them, and now you're gonna see like a Mario one. You don't really give a shit about a Mario one, but you're gonna look at it and be like, that Mario is real badass.
No, what's gonna
Look at
happen?
him. Look at him in that pose. That pose is so sweet.
No, what's gonna happen?
Look at guys. He's throwing his hat. It's gonna be you.
What's going to happen is the next Mario game is going to come out and it's going to do a bunch of cool shit if you have the original Smash Bros. Mario amiibo, and
Yeah.
that's what's going to
I don't
get
think
me.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. As someone who likes to complete things, as a completionist, I don't like having to track down toys for little extra goodies in my games. I don't know.
I'll tell you, Brian, everything about it on paper is something I hate. I hate that it's effectively walling me out of content that was likely developed for the game before they decided to attach it to amiibos. I hate that getting an amiibo costs $17, so effectively I'm paying $17 for a new dress for my dolly in Legend of
But
Zelda.
more than anything, you hate that it worked on you.
I really...
You hate yourself more than anything.
Yes. Yup. You're not wrong. It almost had Kring. Kring was almost there.
I walked into that Toys R Us.
You were on the threshold.
The lights dimmed, and I was like, oh my god, they've got 2 Wolf Links. Because Tyler was saying like he couldn't find Wolf Link anywhere, and I'm like, there's 2 of them here. Oh my god, they have an 8-bit Link. Tyler, get your ass to this Toys R Us. Let's get these Wolf Links. And then by the time he got there, I talked myself out of it. I was like, no, I don't need this. This isn't something I need in my life. I'm going to use it for this game 1 or 2 times, and then it's going to sit on a shelf, and I'm never going to use it again. So I will pass.
I wonder if there's a Toys R Us near me.
There is. We actually went to that one, I think, and
They didn't have shit.
They were cleared out.
Oh, good. I don't need any more temptations.
No, I decided that I would rather spend my money on like maybe an eShop cart, maybe pick up snipper clips and hold out for some of the other indie titles, or maybe when they put Virtual Console on there, that I'd rather spend money on actual games. There you go. Yep. Actual games as opposed to little toys that are going to give me a thing for a brief moment and then be useless after that.
It's buying skins and heroes again.
You're not wrong, Brian. It feels very similar to that. Whatever. Let me have my dollies, both physical and virtual, and we'll just leave
We're here to enable each other. This is fine.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm gonna let you know every time I find an amiibo that you don't have, just so you can have it.
All right. Sounds
You can
good.
go, at Target they have all those Animal Crossing ones. They're only like $4, and it's buy 2 get 1 free.
Yeah. So far, temptation resisted there. There isn't one at all. So we're good.
But what's going to happen when a new game comes out and those Animal Crossing ones are going to do cool stuff in it, Tyler?
I'll have to just cry out in shame and horror.
This could be an investment. They'll do something cool. The value will shoot through the roof on these. You got in at the ground floor, bought 3 of them for $10. Now each one of them selling them for like $30. Tyler, you're not thinking long term.
What about your daughter's future?
Yeah, I mean, geez, I could have tens of dollars right now if I would have just capitalized on this amiibo craze.
I'm saying they work in multiple games. I know they have little unlocks here and there.
Right.
I'm of 2 minds about that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if it lasts or if I just have 4 on my shelf for a while. But let's switch this up a little bit. Switch it up and talk about the Joy-Con thing, huh?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because Nintendo talked about it finally. There was many reports that the left Joy-Con was desyncing with the console and having issues with the distance between the Switch itself and where you had your Joy-Cons. Luke, you said you ran into a little bit of that?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. It was literally when I just sit a certain way and kind of have like my legs propped up, and then the console behind my TV or my table underneath my TV. So multiple obstacles in the way, and yeah, the left one would not input every single command.
Well, looks like they've released a bunch of ways that you can alleviate those issues. So they've acknowledged that it can be a problem, and if you look on their support page, there's now lots of things that they suggest you do to minimize that. So neat. Thanks, Nintendo. Thanks for acknowledging it. It's nice to know that they're aware of it. They're not just trying to brush it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. My understanding is that the antenna in the left Joy-Con is not as large as the one in the right, and it's by a little piece of metal that might be causing interference.
I actually saw a thing where a dude had taken it apart, found that was the issue, and then all he did was he soldered a small piece of copper wire to the antenna and then started getting better range on the left than he was on the right.
Yeah.
Well, neat. So if you want to crack open your Joy-Cons and start soldering shit, just go right ahead and do that and fix your problem right up.
I wonder if it's bad enough to do any sort of recall.
I highly doubt that they would do
No.
that.
No.
But you never know.
Nope.
Now what I can see them doing is releasing a Joy-Cons 2.0, like a newer version that has a better antenna in it somewhere down the road. But I can't imagine they'd do any kind of recall for it.
I feel like they should compensate us and give us all free Pro controllers.
That, you know what?
That's
Luke,
just because you're a cheap fuck that doesn't want to buy a Pro controller, Luke.
Not spending $70 on a controller.
But Luke, when you move it around, it has the motion stuff in it, Luke.
So does mine.
And Luke, I can take my amiibo and pop it right down on it, and it works on the Pro controller too.
Well, I don't have any amiibos.
Well, spend $70
Join the
on
online
a controller.
sensation.
Yeah, you can spend $70 on a controller, and then you get to spend hundreds of dollars on amiibos.
That's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that before?
It's so much fun.
Question mark profit.
All right. So the next thing was Shadow of War got a gameplay trailer. And
Yes.
I think we talked about the announcement last week and how Shadow of Mordor was like my game of 2014 easily. And
Yep, that old?
yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fall of 2014,
And
Luke.
I am very, very, very interested in this game.
Do we know when this is coming out?
Yes,
I haven't-
August.
I didn't see. Oh, Tyler, that'll be perfect timing in between Zelda and Mario for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there going to be Italian amiibo that I can get? Can I get this on Switch? I don't think you can. I'll be playing
You wouldn't
this on
anyway.
PC. Yeah, this
you would
is
be
a
getting it on
game.
PC, and you wanted to have all the pretty graphics on that one.
Yeah. We all played this, yes? Shadow of Mordor?
I did. I
Little
beat
bit.
it.
Brian,
dabbled.
just a little bit, yeah. I played through it almost twice, and it's really something. The big thing that sets Shadow of Mordor apart from other big open world games like this is the Nemesis system. So in the game, there are these different. There's like a hierarchy for the orcs, the Uruk-hai. They're led by these war leaders, and each one of them have like a series of lieutenants and generals and stuff. But the cool thing is they all have their own like unique qualities. Some of them might be fearful of animals and resistant to fire. Another one might be, scared of fire and completely impervious to animals. There's like different ways that their abilities all work out, and there's any like foot soldier, grunt, or whatever could end up being like the toughest boss in the game by the end of it, because if they manage to kill you, they rank up and they rise through the ranks and get promoted and get new abilities and things like that. So
If you manage to do
never took advantage of this. It seems like a cool system.
yeah, I was really expecting other games to kind of try to utilize that, and so far nothing else
one
really
touched it.
has. I think it's
the.
sorry, go ahead, Green.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was
You
just
got
going to say, it works really well with this IP. It works really well with this story and this setting and everything.
Yep.
I don't know that it would necessarily translate to a Batman game the same way, or
Could.
I mean, maybe something like that could, but I don't know. They said their original inspiration for it was sports games. The way that like you would have to have AI like run a season and go through that simulation and everything. That's kind of what they're doing with the way the orcs work and the way they rank up and stuff. They're constantly looking to usurp each other and take someone else's place and get someone else out of the way. Like that all kind of happens in the background while you play the game. Every time you die, like the pawns all move around, and some people get promoted and some people get killed. Like there's all kinds of stuff that happens. It looks like in this they're adding like a whole new. I hate to use the word RTS because that isn't really what this is, but it almost looks like a strategy thing where like you're building up your army that you're going to take to siege this fortress, and they have their own abilities and stuff too. Like you're pitting your warband against theirs. It seems kind of cool.
I'm glad they decided to do something more than just your typical go out, kill orcs, finish this quest. Like, it looks like you really are building up an army, and you have to give your different orcs different traits and use them in different capacities to assault these castles.
Yeah, he's got like a big Siegebreaker style like troll guy that he's using to break down the gate while Talion goes up and deals with their leader. That's so cool.
It sounds like you control that castle when you're done, and you could assign your different orcs out to do different things, like gather resources, raid nearby villages or something.
I like having a base of operations to upgrade and get bonuses from and work out of.
Yeah, and that's really what it sounds like you can do.
Wow. There's a little bit of I feel like in some ways this Middle Earth series now, the Shadow of Mordor and now Shadow of War games, I feel like I like what they're doing with the Tolkien property more than what Peter Jackson did with The Hobbit.
I was just going to say that.
Like, I'm way more excited for this than I am that. And
because they didn't ruin it.
Because none of the trolls have, a tiny arm, or they're not
Mace
wearing
for legs.
they're not wearing balustrades on their heads as helmets and dive bombing walls.
I don't know, Kring, we haven't seen all the gameplay. Maybe they've worked that in here.
Well, they didn't do it in Shadow of Mordor. So if they do it in this, then it's #not my shadow game.
I know there's a lot of people that are upset with the liberties and the story that these games are taking.
Those people can all eat shit. It's a universe. This fits nicely into that universe.
So
it doesn't have to be canon. It was written very well. It's all implemented.
It takes the
about
universe
as
that we all
well
love
as
and
you
makes
can-
it awesome.
Yeah, and it's done about as well as you can expect somebody to do it who's not working from something that is canon. Look at all that. Look at all the Star Wars shit. It's all
I thought
terrible.
they treated it with respect. I thought they treated the license well, and if they tried to make it fit with the canon, that never pisses people off. Sure.
Yeah, I feel like for anyone, the fact that this exists at all is going to be too much for some Tolkien fans, and it is definitely hyper violent, which is a thing that the books never really were. And that's a criticism of the movie too, and this takes it to a whole nother level beyond that. But at the end of the day, it's still the best Lord of the Rings video game series that exists, and it does. It's more an adaptation of the Peter Jackson films than it is the books anyway. It's
Sure.
if you're coming in there expecting anything from the book, don't, because there's literally nothing in there about the books. This is a story that takes place between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings as far as the timeline goes, and it's all new. It's all, fan fiction. It's the coolest fan fiction I've ever seen for Lord of the Rings. How about that?
Except for the one you write on the weekends.
That's right. Thanks, Luke, for acknowledging that. Find me at Tumblr.
Doesn't
Smeagol Whisperer.
He doesn't just write it, Luke. He's doing a one-man show. He's writer, director, producer, actor.
Oh.
Yep. Community theater. This is your tax dollars at work, folks.
This is the future liberals want.
Does this do anything for you, Maxwell? You think you're going to check out Shadow of War? Kill some orcs?
Probably not.
Orcs? No?
The third-person action games they're a hard sell for me. I don't know.
Like Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
Maxwell is an enigma.
That means I might play one or two that are fantastic, but it's not like that's not a draw. That's a that's a negative in my book.
Gotcha.
This is fantastic. This should be one of those one or two. I think the first one won several Game of the Year awards.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's a legitimately good game.
Except for the Dwarf Quest, it was a real solid game.
I'm actually hoping there's like a huge dwarf storyline just for Luke.
No.
There sure is a lot of explosions and a dragon, a worm. Oh man, a drake.
A worm with a Y.
A fire drake, yeah, worm.
You get to ride a weird bear-looking thing like your Rexar.
So Tyler, you have your amiibos that are a big lure for you. There's something for this game that's been calling my name, and that is the Mithril edition.
How is that seriously something that is in your crosshairs at all? It's like, isn't it like $300?
What's in it?
Collector's edition stuff.
Yeah, what's in
Statue.
it is a big statue, a replica of the new Ring of Power that they forged. There's soundtracks, art books, all the DLC.
Statue.
Okay.
Statue. I really want that statue.
Do you want $300? You want it that bad? It's worth
Oh boy, that statue's real good.
It's more like $240 because the game's gonna be $60 anyway.
Okay, all right. You know what? Hey, I'm gonna let you do this, Luke. If you need the Mithril edition, I'll cheer you on, and I'll enjoy looking at that statue behind you.
Well,
when
maybe
do
we
our
can set up a
podcast.
Patreon and that can just go right towards it.
GoFundMe, Luke's Mithril edition.
Yes, there we go.
I like it.
It's for the show, guys. We need to do this.
I really wish there was just like a edition that was like $150 that included the game and just the statue. And I would go for that.
Well, that's how they get you,
Luke.
Luke.
I don't need the art book. I don't need the One Ring.
Yeah,
I just need the
that
game
was me too.
and the statue.
Here's how you get it, Luke.
Yeah.
Here's how you get it. You get it. You gotta get a job at GameStop. That's first, and then you got to be working there about a year after the release of this, and then whatever leftover versions of this there are, you get to then take home all the garbage because GameStop just wants to sell the game. And that's how I got my copy of Halo 3 with the Master Chief helmet, is because GameStop didn't want to carry that copy anymore, so they just had us pull the game out and throw
shelf space,
all the other stuff in the trash, and by in the trash they meant the trunk of Aaron's car.
Brian, you know someone at GameStop. Just hook me up in like a year and a half.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll take care of you.
Settled.
Well, guys, let's get the heck on out of here. We've done the podcast twice or once and a half now, so I think that's gonna cover it for this week, huh?
Yeah. Kring looks like he's about to go face down.
Yeah, I've seen Kring half asleep at least 3 times now.
I have, but now that I'm up and interested, you're gonna cut me short just because you fucked up earlier.
Yeah,
Cut you short. What else did you have to say that was worthwhile? I'm sorry.
It's gonna be Zelda related.
Don't.
Here comes the outro music. It's happening. Can't stop it now. Well, everyone, thanks for sticking with us. If you caught the first half of the show twice, I'm so sorry. But you can find just the one whole show that we'll put together on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play. You can stream it right from questlogcast.com if you want. You can find us. We do this show live, believe it or not.
Again, we're sorry.
Just beaming it straight out to the internet there for you at twitch.tv/questlogcast. You can find lots of cool stuff on there. If we ever decide to stream games, that's where we'll do it. And you can subscribe or follow or do whatever you want. Find a way, and you'll get to know when we do more of this.
Follow your heart.
Email us.
Follow your heart. You can. Luke's right. You can email us, mail@questlogcast.com. Send us some neat stuff, and yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll make it onto the show. Maybe it won't.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, it probably will.
Twitter at QuestlogCast. And that's gonna do it. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go play the Switch until my eyes fall out and I fall asleep. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Get you next time.